Hey, how's it going, y'all? Nick here with the last coat. Wanted to show you how to properly use our Bare Slate Clay Mitt. We're going to wash the vehicle first, which I've actually already done. So the vehicle's wet right now. We got it free of any type of dirt and debris. We have a wash bucket here. I prefer to use soap and water to clay a vehicle. You can use a dedicated clay lube, and that is up to you, but for this purpose here, we're going to use the last soap mixed in the bucket here, and we're using 3 to 4 ounces of soap to about 2 gallons of water in our wash bucket, and that is going to be just enough soap and lubrication to get us all the way around this vehicle. You should be able to even do a full-size truck with that amount without any issues. If you started running low on lubrication, add a little bit more soap and water to your bucket so that you have plenty of lubrication, so that when the clay mitt is running across the surface, there is no dragging or any sticking effect occurring. So let's get after it. So it's pretty simple. We're just going to take our clay mitt. We actually have clay on one side and then a microfiber wash mitt on the other side. And the wash mitt side is what we're going to use to lubricate the surface, and then we will flip over to the clay portion to actually do the decontamination. So we're just going to dip it right into our water bucket here with our soap. The other thing too is when you put the soap in here, you want to make sure that you agitate it with your pressure washer or your actual hose here, and put some high pressure in there so that you create a nice thick amount of suds as well. So you can see we got plenty of suds on here. So we're going to take the microfiber side. We're going to get plenty of soap onto the car, and then we will actually flip to the clay side, and you can see that I still even have foam on the clay side. And you're just going to simply rub it across here using light pressure. Now the other thing I wanted to mention is when you come to an area like this, this is a painted trim piece, but it sticks out from the body. You don't want to be shoving a bunch of pressure and hitting into that. So clay right up to it, and then take the clay mitt and go on top here. You don't want to be digging into it. You could effectively leave some clay stuck to the surface on there, which isn't a big deal. Some rubbing alcohol or a rubbing compound would take it right off. So don't freak out if that does happen, but to avoid it, just take a little bit of caution and concern when you're coming up to an edge that is sticking out. Don't stick a bunch of pressure across it. So we're just going to effectively do the same thing across the vehicle surface here. We can even do the glass as well. And again, when we do the door here and we come down to here, we are just going to clay right down to it, even go horizontal motions across that area. Then we will come down actually onto the trim piece here and do the trim piece separately, not trying to do it in the same paths as we're doing the flat portion of the door here. And then when we do the glass, same type of thing, keep it very well lubricated, and just run the clay mitt across it. You just need enough pressure to actually hold the clay mitt between the surface of the vehicle and your hand. Don't need to be shoving down on it or anything like that. The clay mitt will do the work for you. So once you've actually clayed the surface, all you have to do now is just rinse your soap and water off, and then you're done, and you'll be ready to apply whatever sealant you have picked out for the job that you're doing. So a couple other things I also wanted to talk about when you're storing the clay mitt. Once you're done with it, I always wring the clay mitt out, get all the soap and water out of it as much as I can, maybe even rinse it out with my hose here just a bit to get some of the excess soap out of it. And then I will store it with the clay side up and sitting on the actual microfiber side until it dries. Once it dries, then I'll put it back in the packaging that you see me originally pull it out of to keep it safe. The other thing too with the clay mitt, because the clay is actually a very soft clay, we don't want to have it sitting out in direct sunlight or into an extremely hot environment. If the clay mitt does arrive to you and it seems a little bit like shiny or very, very sticky, it's not a huge issue. You just need to stick it somewhere cool for about a day or two to actually get the clay to come back to a normal state. While I'm doing the cars, I like to use cool water, or at least air temperature water, to avoid the mitt from getting hot while I'm actually doing something. So don't just leave it sitting out here like this baking in the sun. That can affect the clay, as well as it will leave clay sticking to the car, so you don't want that to happen. So easiest thing is just keep it recessed in the water bucket while you're not actually using it. But again, once you're done with it, wring it out, let it dry, and then you can put it back into your clay box there. So I know you guys are going to love this thing. The other thing I didn't mention too is you can actually stick your hand in here and use it like that. I prefer to just keep my hand on the outside, but again, all up to you and how you like to work. So thank you very much for your purchase, and look forward to hearing your results.